Hello, welcome back, or welcome if you're new. It's really good to see you today. My name is Vix and this is my channel, Goddess of Gore, where I like to talk about horror, thriller, fantasy and sci-fi books. Today I want to tell you all about the books that I want to read this month, and I have quite a few different categories going on this time. So, shall we have a look at what I've picked then? So pretty much as I always do, I will very quickly go through all of my commitment reads that I have to do this month. And yes, I still have a few left over from last month, but obviously I'm not going to bore you with those. Oh no. But you can watch the start of last month's TBR, but I am up to date with the Gaiman books and the Witcher books, and I am quite excited to say that we have a month off the Witcher read along in August, so that's a book I don't have to worry about. If you do want to hear about what those leftovers are, then go and give last month's video a watch. But this month's Discworld books are Men at Arms and Soul Music. This is for the Around a Disc readathon. That is a 2+ year event, reading our way through all of the books of the disc and possibly a couple more. This is hosted by Lianne from Literary Diversions here on YouTube and Kirsty from Melb's Reads on Instagram. There is a Discord invite, as always, in the description box if you ever want to join in. So, Men at Arms is the second book in Terry Pratchett's City Watch series and the 15th Discworld book in publication order. The story follows Captain Vimes, the commander of the Ankh-Morpork City Watch, as he investigates a series of murders among the city's guilds. The murders are being committed by a young assassin named Edward VIII, who is convinced that the restoration of the Ankh-Morpork monarchy will solve the social change in the city, which he blames for his family's downfall. He does a little research of the history of the royal family and determines that Carrot Iron Founderson is in fact the rightful heir to the throne. Meanwhile, Vimes is also preparing for his imminent wedding to Sybil Ramkin, the richest woman in Ankh-Morpork, who we met in the last City Watch book, Guards. I am pretty sure we will get to meet a load of new characters, as we always do as these stories progress. And then Soul Music. This is the third book in the Death series and, well, obviously the 16th book of the disc. And this is about Imp E. Selin, who comes to the city of Ankh-Morpork with big dreams of being a rock star. He teams up with a dwarf and a troll and they form a band called The Band with Rocks In. Surprisingly, the band become very popular, all thanks to a strange guitar that Imp found, a guitar with a melody all of its own. Good? No. Bad. This is totally bad. The band think they're pretty hot stuff now, and the members are getting all cocky, and this guitar has the power to tear reality apart. Luckily, Death can stop the music, but does he actually want to? The Year of Gaiman is continuing with the Graveyard book, and I have read this one many times now. This is about a young boy named Nobody Owens. He lives in a graveyard and has been raised by the ghosts who live there after he was left orphaned when both his parents were murdered. In the graveyard, we get to meet all of his other ghost friends, find out how they became ghosts, as well as how dangerous the world outside the graveyard is to Nobody, because out there is a man called Jack, and Jack killed Nobody's parents, and he knows he's going to kill him next. And then the last of the Grant County books, book 6, is called Skin Privilege. I know it's called something else in other countries. Hang on a minute. Beyond reach, that's it. So this is the end of Grant County, as I said, so I'm not going to say much about this book, except it has pretty much only got 4 and 5-star reviews for the finale, so that's going to be pretty amazing. So all I know is that Lena, my favourite character in these books, is arrested for murder. Sarah is being sued for medical misdiagnosis, and when Jeffrey starts to help Lena out, he uncovers a whole giant can of worms. And then the Sweater Weather Book Club. Again, the Discord invites are in the description. This is a cozy reading group that has fantasy and mysteries and general mild perils and just feel-good kind of reads going on, as well as a monthly book club. Lots of people are involved on the Discord server if you ever want to start getting into this cozy little genre of fiction and don't know where to start. Anyway, this month's read is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. Emily Wilde is a grumpy, grouchy professor of fairy folklore. She travels to a remote northern frosty village to study the hidden ones, the most elusive of the fairies. She expects to be left alone to conduct her research, but her plans are disrupted by the arrival of Mr. Bumblebee, her dashing and insufferably handsome academic rival. Nothing worse than someone who's insufferably handsome, is there? What a nuisance. Wendell Bumblebee quickly charms the townsfolk and inserts himself into Emily's research, much to her annoyance, as Emily gets closer to uncovering the secrets of the hidden ones. She also finds herself drawn to Wendell, despite her best efforts to resist him. Her gut tells her not to trust him, but her heart, wow. Now, this book fits very nicely into the other third of my reading this month. So, first, let me explain something. I was going to read trash for the month. Yeah, I was going to join the Garb August readathon hosted by Olly from Criminolly here on YouTube. I had my intro all planned out. I was going to read a load of crap horror books. But when push came to shove, I just couldn't do it. I'm really sorry, Olly, but much like Siân from Past Story Time, I'm just too classy to read trashy. So instead, I'm frolicking through the meadows, I'm talking to the wild folk and woodland creatures, I'm having picnics in the long grass, yodeling from mountaintops, running up hills and spinning around and round. I'm going cottagecore for August. Now, hang on before you all stop watching. I've still got the other third themed books, so watch till the end. Trust the process here. So, although I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to read for the cottagecore TBR, I do know that I want to get to Thornhedge. Yes, the new fantasy by T. Kingfisher. This comes out this month, and I will be talking about this in my new books coming out in August video, which should be coming out maybe next week. Ooh, well, soon anyway. So, Toadling is a kind-hearted, toad-shaped creature who was stolen from her human family by the fairies the day she was born. She grew up in fairyland where she was safe and loved. But when she came of age, the fairies asked her to return to the human world and fulfill a favour. The favour was simple. Toadling has to go to a human village and protect a newborn child from harm. But nothing with the fairies is ever simple, is it? Centuries later, a knight called Sir Tom approaches a towering wall of brambles. The thorns are as thick as his arms and as sharp as swords, and they surround a small village. There is a curse on this village, and he's determined to break it. But Toadling is the one upholding the curse, and she has grown to love the village and its people and will do anything to protect them. The Girl from the Other Side by Nakabe. Yes, I'm going to try a bit of manga. I have owned this compendium of volumes 1 to 3 since the second I saw the cover and the title. I honestly do try to get on with manga and graphic novels, but I just can't seem to immerse myself into them. And I do own a lot of these books, but I promise I will read this month. It is beautiful, it is gorgeous, and I really want to love it. In a world split between inside and the outside, those living in both realms are forbidden to cross over to the other side lest they be cursed. A young girl named Shiva lives on the outside in a vacant village with a demonic guardian known only as Teacher. Although the two are forbidden to touch, they seem to share a bond that transcends their contrasting appearances. Shiva has always been curious about the inside, and she dreams of one day being able to cross over. But Teacher has always warned her against it, saying that the inside is a dangerous place. But one day, Shiva decides to defy Teacher and cross over to the inside. She sets out on a journey to find her grandmother, who lives there. Along the way, she will learn the secret behind the mysterious living arrangement with Teacher. And then the last book I really want to read with the cottagecore theme is The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill. In the Protectorate, the people believe that the witch in the forest must be appeased with a yearly sacrifice of a baby. However, the witch, Siân, is actually kind and gentle. She lives with her companions, a wise swamp monster named Clark, and a perfectly tiny dragon named Fyron. Siân rescues the abandoned babies that have been left for her as yearly sacrifices and delivers them to welcoming families on the other side of the forest, nourishing them with starlight on the journey. So, one year, Siân accidentally feeds a baby moonlight instead of starlight, filling the ordinary child with extraordinary magic. Siân decides to raise this magic girl, whom she calls Luna, as her own. To keep young Luna safe from her own unwieldy power, Siân locks her magic deep inside her. When Luna approaches her 13th birthday, her magic begins to emerge on schedule. But Siân is far away. Meanwhile, a young man from the Protectorate is determined to free his people of this supposed curse of baby sacrifices by killing the wicked witch. So there will probably be more books in this theme, but I'm not sure what they'll be yet. So you'll have to tune in to my weekly wrap-ups to see if you're interested in the Cozy Cottage summary books. So to equal out all of that fuzziness, I am planning a little reading vlog this month. A new series maybe every few months or so. I don't really want to commit to a set routine yet. I'm not going to tell you what this is about yet, but it does involve 11 creepy dark books, and of those 11 books, some of them will be rereads and some of them will be new to me, but they all do have a purpose. So just a couple of them will be Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. This is about Camille. Now Camille has just got out of a stay at a psychiatric hospital and she's got a job to report about a missing girl. The only trouble is that it is in her hometown of Windgap, the hometown where her sister was murdered and her neurotic mother still lives. Camille has to unravel the strange puzzle of the past to get to the story of the missing and murdered girls. This is a messed up small town psychological thriller with a ton of trigger warnings, so reader beware. It has been a couple of years, I think, since I last read Misery, so it's high time I gave it another read. I love this book so much. If Annie Wilkes isn't one of your favourite nurses, then we just can't be friends. Nurse Ratched and Nurse Wilkes, my heroes, my dream colleagues. Anyway, this is about an author, one Paul Sheldon, who thought he could just kill off one of his beloved characters and get away with it. Oh, Paul, you silly goose. That would be a big nay-nay, my friend, because Annie is not only Mr. Sheldon's biggest fan, she's also Misery Chastain's biggest fan too. And she's just found out he's killed her off. She's not happy one bit. And then I will read Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. This is just beautiful. If you haven't read this book, then are you even a goth? So this is a middle grade? I'm not sure, probably middle grade book about time travel and a home for strange children, basically. So Jacob used to love his granddad's magical stories until he got old enough to doubt them and started to see them as just that, stories, fairy tales that aren't real, until one day he happens upon the crumbling ruins of an abandoned house on an island. The more he explores its creepy hallways, the more he realises that it's still occupied. So that's it. I'm sorry that I've kept you in the dark for some of my TBR this month. I really don't mean to be all secretive and whatnot. I can't have a secret project monthly vlog thingy if I tell you about it, can I? And besides, when I do my wrap-ups every week, the books will be a bit of a surprise to both of us. What do you think of my themes for the month? Are you more interested in the cozy or the creepy? What are you reading this month? What's the most exciting book on your list for the month? Let me know in the comments. Have you read any of these books and think I'll love them or hate them? So thank you for joining me today to talk about the books I want to read in August. I really enjoyed your company today and I can't wait to find out about your books or your own projects. I will leave you today with a quote about the summer. Let us dance in the sun wearing wildflowers in our hair. Let us huddle together as the darkness takes over. We are at home amidst the birds and the trees, for we are children of nature. Make some good book choices this week, my friends, and I hope to see you all again soon. Until next time, bye bye.